because when I watched it, I couldn't bring myself to care about it. At least when I watch Super, I care about it enough to get frustrated about certain moments.
Because I don't think that's a bad trait. The fact that it's honoring stuff which happens before.
No, there's honor and then there's nostalgia pandering.
I'm in a fortress, man, I feel trapped. King of the hill, but I'm still under attack. And I feel less inside when these weapons fly. And ain't nobody got my back. Cause I feel my aggressive when I'm under pressure. I'm losing my focus, I'm missing my steps.
Goku only died when Piccolo shot him through Raditz and when Cell blew up.
And I also want to say he might as well have died when he got shot by a blaster in Super Saiyan Blue form right through his chest, even though he's Super Saiyan.
Okay, Super's kind of stupid.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Super doesn't make. And here's the thing.
Okay.
I get upset by Super because Super had so much potential. Like there was a moment in Super, and I had to watch it again. I didn't actually know until someone pointed it out. Right before the Tournament of Power, there's a scene when Goku's going to collect Frieza. All of the imagery is beautiful and everything. But one thing that happens that I don't know if any of you guys noticed it, right before he goes to get Frieza, he's sparring, he's doing jabs, jumping around. Does anyone remember that scene?
Wait, this when Frieza's in hell, isn't it? Yeah.
No, yeah, right before he went to hell to go collect Frieza for a day, right? Mm-hmm. So outside the room, he's just punching the air. You think he's just training, you think he's just having fun, but no. That was a shot-for-shot recreation of his fight with his grandfather from Dragon Ball. If you compare them side by side, every single move that he makes, he's reliving it in his mind. That's why his eyes are closed. It is so beautiful. It's so deep. When I realized that, I cried because it's like, yo, that's Goku. Like, and they could have made the series like that. They could have put that much detail and thought into the series. It could have been that consistent, but they didn't. So
what is that?
I don't remember
was when Goku goes to hell to recruit Frieza.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
watch it.
You're right.
I think someone did a comparison.
You're right in terms of detail. Like that's one thing that like I feel like Dragon Ball Z, the story's not given enough credit. But when you actually watch it through when you're older, there's so many little things that you notice that like, rah, this is mad. For example, when Goku is facing Vegeta and you see Vegeta go into the ape form, Goku suddenly realizes that it takes you back to Dragon Ball. That all this time that like, he was the one that killed his grandfather, and he's like, oh crap, that was me. And all those other times he's like, why did no one tell me? And also you go back to when Frieza killed Vegeta, and then like he's telling you hear his backstory for the first time, and you're like, rah, this guy isn't so bad. Like when he's crying, he's like, this guy killed my planet, my people that I was meant to be in charge of. Like, there's so many deep cuts in Dragon Ball Z that I feel like people don't give the story enough credit. They're always like, yeah, it's just fights. But nah, it's a mad story that built upon the foundation that was Dragon Ball. Okay, the Buu arc is the Buu arc, but like from the beginning of the Raditz arc to the end of Cell, like that story, it was a lot deeper than people thought. Like, I feel like Z doesn't get enough credit.
I agree with you. Even from the beginning, Piccolo's sacrifice for Gohan. Do you know how many times Super has tried to recreate that moment where Piccolo jumps in front of Gohan? He did it when they were fighting Frieza in Resurrection of F. Gohan did it for him in the Tournament of Power. Rather than creating their own moments, it's trying to ride on the nostalgia of Dragon Ball Z. That's what I hate about Super. Because like the moment
I think it, but then don't you think that's more your personal opinion? Because I don't think that's a bad trait. The fact that it's honoring stuff which happens before.
No, there's honor and then there's nostalgia pandering. I think there's a difference.
No, but I don't feel like that warrants enough to basically label it like that.
No, it's not just that on its own. It's the fact that it does that without then taking the effort to create its own iconic moments. It's riding off the hype of the old ones without struggling to create it. And it does in a few places, but the fact that they're so few and far between is what frustrates me. Like
so I feel Super and G. Let's say just Super and GT, because I feel like they're probably the more ones we can kind of compare. Which one out of those two? Which one would you say has more memorable moments? Number one, and then which one would you say has more like redundant moments?
So that's why I called it a close comparison, because if I'm being completely honest with myself, GT has some beautiful moments, like when Boo sacrifices himself and refuses with Oob. You have when Krillin and 18 die. It's just, there are tons of them, but Super has more, right? But the fact that it had as much potential as it did and still flopped so hard with what it had, it's more of a letdown to me. You get what I mean? So even though it has more to work with, it let me down more. So that's why it belongs down there with GT. That's why I put GT more in.
Okay, like the thing that I'll say, which why I put Super before GT, is that you're right. When you think about when Krillin died, like GT on paper should have been better than it was, but I don't know what to call it. But like something was missing, like the soul was missing from the show. It didn't feel like Dragon Ball. So whenever I watched it, even though these were like big moments, like Krillin's been there from the beginning of Dragon Ball. Him dying, I should care, but everything that happened in GT, I didn't care. I thought Super Saiyan 4 looked cool. Gogeta was cool. Like, it looks cool, but I didn't care about a single moment. It just felt so like deadpan. It felt dry. I don't know how to explain it. It just wasn't the same. Like it didn't feel like Dragon Ball. It felt like these people had the same names, but it wasn't the same show that I was watching. Like Super feels like a continuation of Z and like the original, but GT there's something.
I mean, that was the goal, right?
Yeah.
Did they execute it perfectly? Definitely not. But that was pretty much the goal. Like Super kind of retcons some of the stuff we see in GT.
So that's why it's like to me it doesn't even matter anything that happened in GT, because when I watched it, I couldn't bring myself to care about it. At least when I watch Super, I care about it enough to get frustrated about certain moments. Because I am enjoying it, and I'm invested in it. So even when it lets me down, there's a reason why it let me down, because it should have been good, like you said. But with GT, I just had complete apathy. Like I was just watching.
It had lower
for the sake of watching. Yeah, but like I feel like apathy is worse than being disappointed, because apathy, you just don't care.
Thanks for tuning into today's Kaisha No Pod production. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe to hear our latest content. You can also find us on other media platforms, which can be found in the description box below, as well as a link to today's full podcast episode.
I'm about to go Super Saiyajin. Feel the fire coming off my skin. In the future, that's where I've been. So I'm about to tell y'all where the end begins. It's all black, whack, where my kin. It's cold outside, I need to bring y'all in.